welcome to my channel. My name's Akira, but sometimes I go by Akira Janay or Nurse Akira. And if you haven't already read this title, we're gonna talk about the time I got a 0 on my nursing quiz because I had pneumonia, was in the hospital and couldn't make it class. Yeah, y'all, she did not let me retake that quiz, and I feel like it was very disrespectful, but hey, that's nursing school for you, I guess. But before we begin, if you haven't already liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it, as well as please subscribe. You want to join the Akira Janay family and, be on this journey with me. But let's get started, y'all. Okay, y'all, so I'm gonna tell y'all the gist of how we got to, our conclusion. But the conclusion was I ended up in the hospital for a day and a half because I had pneumonia. And after I got to the hospital, I had to, stay by myself, not be around people for 5 days. And during that time, I was supposed to go to class and have a quiz, but I couldn't go to class because I couldn't be around people. And instead of my professor, letting me retake the quiz, she said, no, you can get a 0. And, I'm sorry, that's what we do here. But, I'm gonna tell y'all the gist of the story. So let's begin. So y'all, while I was in nursing school, I worked as a nursing assistant in float pool, y'all. I got floated to so many floors and I will never do float pool again. To all the nurses, nursing techs that float pool, you guys are amazing because that little duration of me doing float pool, I never want to do it again. Like, I hated it. It really was making me think, dang, do I want to be a nurse? Because I really hate working as a nursing assistant float pool. It was horrible. But one night, because I worked nights, I worked every other weekend night, one night out the week. I wasn't playing that. Me working while in nursing school, that was a dub. So I worked one shift every other week on the weekend night. So one night I got floated to a cardiothoracic floor. If you don't know what a cardiothoracic floor is, it's usually people who get like some type of heart surgery are put on this floor. They're usually, most of them are on sternal precautions, because when you get heart surgery, you have that big incision down here, and what sternal precautions is you cannot use your arm. So you know how you use your arm to get out of bed or pull stuff or grab stuff, you're not allowed to do that, because when you're on sternal precautions, we're trying to limit you from doing that, because if you do that, you can rip your incision open. And if you rip your incision open, baby, that's a big no-no. We don't want that. We don't want that problem. So most of the patients are on sternal precautions because they have some type of heart surgery of some sort. So got floated to the floor. I've been on the floor maybe once before, There's only one other nursing assistant at night. They didn't know me or whatever, but hey, I'm here to do my job. That's it. So, in the beginning of shift, I sort of feel like very warm. I'm like, why do I feel so warm? But I'm thinking, everyone knows the first few hours of your shift in healthcare is crazy. You're always hot, you're doing a lot, you're running around a lot, because usually in the beginning of the shift, that's when you got all your major stuff, your major assessments, your vitals, your all this stuff you got to do. So I'm just thinking, maybe I'm just feeling warm because I'm moving around a lot. So 1, 2, 3 in the morning, around this time frame, this is when everything happened. This is when hit the fan. This lady calls out, I was like, I need to use the commode. I'm like, okay, I'll take you to the commode. She had a little commode next to her bed or whatever and stuff. And me and the nurse, I think, moved her last time. So I called the nurse to help me move her, but nurses are busy. They have like a good amount of patients on the floor, and then you only have one other nursing tech, so no one's able to help me. And this lady has to use the bathroom. I'm just like, dang, I don't want her to pee or poop on herself, and no one's here to help me. Like, shoot, what am I gonna do? So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna move her. She's not that heavy. Like, everyone is bigger than me, but she ain't so big that I'm like, hell nah, I ain't moving you. I'm like, I can get it. So I moved her, and I should have known that when I got in that room and she wasn't fully awake, I should have just been like, man, I'm gonna take my chances and just wait. But because she was half asleep, and everyone knows moving someone who is half asleep is like moving dead freaking weight. And but I got her up safely, sternal precautions, didn't mess with her, everything was good. Got her up, got her in bed. While moving her though, my back felt like it did something a little funny, like it felt a little but I was like, you know what, it's fine. After leaving her room, I go sit, chart. I'm like, my back still feels a little and it's starting getting to the point where it's like I can't keep still. You know how when you're in pain, that's just like you gotta keep moving to hopefully the pain don't sit in. But even me moving doesn't hurt. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna just go to lunch. So I go to lunch, and I'm in their little break room, and I am like, I'm losing my crap. I'm losing it. Like, I'm moving, I'm getting up, I'm getting down, I'm walking, because like my back is hurting so bad that I can't be still. So I'm just moving. My back is killing me, and I feel hot. And I'm boohoo in tears. And then finally someone comes in and is like, are you okay? What's going on? And I'm just like, my back, I don't feel good, something's wrong. And I'm in tears, and I'm just at this point, I'm on the ground like am hurt, y'all. I am hurt. So they get their little, you know, blood pressure machine, take my blood pressure. My blood pressure is super low. My heart rate is super high, you know. So they're like, you know what, we're gonna call a code, whatever. I don't remember what their code is, but every hospital has a code that they call when it's like an emergency for someone who is not a patient. So it's like family members or an employee, you call this code and a team comes, assess them and takes them to whatever unit, ED, wherever they need to be. So they call them since my blood pressure is, you know, tanking, my heart rate is high, I'm crying, I'm in extreme pain. So they call them. So they decide, we're taking her to the ED. Something ain't right here. So, you know, I get wheeled down to the ED in a wheelchair, and I get to the ED and I'm still in pain. Like, I can't sit still in the wheelchair, and I'm starting to feel nauseous. So I'm like, dang, like, you can tell when you're about to throw up. So I'm like, dang, I'm about to throw up. So I get like 1 foot out of the wheelchair. Y'all, I felt so bad. I was one of those patients. I threw up right there on the ground. It's just like, it just came out, and I felt so bad because I work in healthcare. I work at this hospital, and I know how it feels when people when they throw up on the ground, and you know it. I felt so bad. I kept apologizing to the janitor. I was like, I'm sorry, like, I didn't mean to. And he was like, it's fine, sweetie, like, it's fine. He was so nice. I felt so bad, y'all. But yeah, I threw up on the ground. I didn't even make it to the trash can. And then they finally gave me a bag. I throw up again, y'all. And I'm in tears because I don't know what's going on. I'm in this city, you know, my family is like 2 hours and some change away. I'm trying to call my mom, but it's like 2, 3 in the morning, and they're not answering. My mama, my daddy, nobody's answering, and I'm just like, I don't feel good. What's going on? Like, and I'm not one for the dramatics. Usually, like, I'm the type of person when I get sick, I don't usually, tell you the truth, I usually don't get sick. Like, I can count on my one hand how many times I've actually been like physically sick, and I've never been hospitalized before. So this is my first time, like, you know, going to the ED for something like this. So, you know, they get me into triage, you know, and they think, oh, well, maybe you have the flu, because like I was having chills and all these things, my heart rate, BP, I was throwing up, nauseous, all this. So they're thinking it is flu season around this time, I guess, or the end of flu season. And they were like, well, maybe you have the flu. Check me for the flu, don't have the flu. So they're like, okay, what's going on, you know? So they start an IV, give me some fluid, and the nurse is taking my blood pressure, and my blood pressure is like still, you know, just it's not good or whatever. So finally they moved me. I don't know why they moved me. They moved me from the ED to like a floor, and I work with baby, y'all. I'm a NICU nurse, so I don't really know much about adults anymore, but and like floors and how it works. But I feel like it was like a short stay unit. It wasn't like an actual floor, and I never worked on that floor before. So I get transferred to this unit, you know. Finally my parents call me back, because it's like the next day. I talk to them, tell them, they're like, okay, well, let us know what happens. If things aren't looking good, we'll come up or whatever. And I was like, okay. I called my best friend. She actually lived where I go to work at, you know. At the time I was going to school in Greensboro. She went to school in Winston. Greensboro and Winston is 30 minutes away, and I worked at the hospital in Winston. So she right up the street. So I call her, she comes, you know, my support person. Y'all, it's crazy. So y'all, I get sent to the short stay unit. They're like trying to figure out what's going on, and at the time I was on birth control, and I was taking birth control pills, and one thing that is a side effect of birth control is blood clot. So they're thinking maybe there's a blood clot, you know, making its way to your lungs or whatever and stuff. And I was just like, okay. So they did some scans and some tests, and they came back and they were like, yeah, you have atypical bacteria in your lungs. And I was like, okay, like, what does that mean? They're like, we think you have pneumonia. And I was like, pneumonia? Like, I'm in nursing school. I would have known if I've had pneumonia this whole time, like, or whatever, but nah. Y'all, I had pneumonia, and I don't know how long I had it, but I don't know what happened that night. Maybe just like from me moving that patient and hurting my back, it just, you know, was like a downhill from there, and then just, it was a cascade from there. But yeah, y'all, I ended up having pneumonia. They started me on some IV antibiotic and things like that, and I was in the hospital for like a day and a half, and they discharged me because of my age, my health and stuff. I guess they're there's a criteria, and like I said, I don't work with adults, so you know, I'm like a novice here when it comes to this stuff. I'm like a regular smuggler patient. You wouldn't even know I was in healthcare when it comes to certain stuff with adults. But I guess there's a criteria for like pneumonia, and like certain things will permit you from staying your whole hospital stay, and other things you'll just go home. So I guess I was low on the criteria for my age, my health, and things or whatever. So I just was in the hospital for a day and a half, and then I went home on some other medication and had to like stay home for 5 days and just chill. Y'all, it was a hot mess. I had pneumonia, but the reason we're talking about this story is because, y'all, the next day I got out the hospital, I had a test. Well, I had a quiz. And in nursing school, you had a quiz. Well, at my nursing school, I don't know if every nursing school, every week you had a quiz. So every time you went to that class, you had a quiz. So we had a quiz, and my grade was all right. You know, I had like a low B at the time. I got a few 60s and 50s on a couple quizzes. And the way that my school works is that when you have a low grade, you get to drop one quiz grade. So, you know, if you have 100, and then you have like 180, they'll drop your 80 because that's the lowest, and then you'll just have 100. So, you know, it helps you out in the long run. So your girl, I was struggling, you know, I was tired of nursing school. I was tired. I was just like, man, I'm just trying to graduate. Like, I don't care about my GPA anymore. I'm just trying to get out here. Cause y'all, I'm tired. I'm tired of reading every day. I'm tired of taking a test every day. I'm tired. So, you know, my grade was all right. I had like a B, a low B, but like y'all know in nursing school, anything can make you or break you. So I was gonna use, you know, that drop grade for one of those 50s or 60s I got to, you know, help boost my grade a little bit. And I was just going to I was keep doing good on the quizzes, because lately I was doing amazing on the quizzes. So I was like, dang, I'm gonna keep this up, and then I can just drop one of those 50s or 60s I got in the beginning. You know, like I had this down pat. So I tell her, I text all my professors, email all my professors, hey, just want to let you know that I was hospitalized. Here's my doctor's note. I was in the hospital for a day and a half. I have pneumonia. I cannot come in. Is there any way that I can retake, redo work, anything I had to turn in? And everybody's like, yeah, you can like turn in your work then or whatever, you know, figure this thing out. But there's one professor, she was like, well, I'm sorry, you can't take the quiz, retake the quiz later on. And I was so pissed, because I was just like, why not? Like, it's not like I'm missing class for a reason, you know, like I was hospitalized. I have a doctor note saying I need to stay home for 5 days. Like, I had effing pneumonia, girl. Pneumonia. It kills people. And you will not let me retake a 10-question quiz. Like, she was like, no, she was like, this is why we have the one you're able to drop, because we know life happens and stuff. So, you know, this is the one you'll drop. You'll just get a 0. You'll get a big 0 on this test, and that will just be the one you drop. And I'm like, but no, I don't want a big 0. I want to take it so I can try and get 100 and drop my 50 and 6. Like, I had a plan, and now you messing up my plan, and I'm mad. Like, y'all, I was so pissed, because it's like I was. And then another thing that made me mad is she was like, well, you know, some people's, you know, mom and dads passed away and they couldn't come to class and had to go to funerals, and they still had to take a 0. Okay, like, okay, like I'm not even gonna talk about that, because that was unnecessary. Oh Lord. But so yeah, I got a 0. Like, as you know, I am a NICU nurse, so you know, she gave me that 0, but God was looking out, because your girl still passed the class, was a B. But she could have let me retake that quiz. Like, it wasn't that serious. Like, I wasn't BSing. I was real sick, and I'm the type of person who don't get sick. So when I get sick, it is a serious thing. But it happened for you regardless of the blockers, the haters, or whatever. So I still, you know, passed the class. I still graduated, and I graduated with a decent GPA in my eyes. I know some people might be like, graduating with a 3.4 is nothing, but to me, graduating with a 3.4, I'm proud of it, you know. So I still graduated with a good GPA. I still, you know, have my Bachelor of Science in Nursing, passed the NCLEX the first try, so, you know, everything is good. But it's just crazy how they're so strict. Like, nursing school is so strict, and there's no reason. Like, we are humans, things happen, and I feel like we should have more grace in nursing school. Especially nursing professors should have more grace with their students, because it's hard. Nursing school is not easy. It's mentally challenging as well as physically, and there's so many nights I would just cry or I was aggravated, or I would just give up and be like, man, F this, I'm watching Netflix. So it's just, it's a lot. And for me to be sick, and this is at the end of a year where it's like, you know, you gotta buckle down, you know, every point counts. I'm trying to do my nurse practicum, my nurse 440, and get my hours in with my nurse preceptor as well. And then I missed that too, so I had to make that up before graduation. So it's just like I had all this to do, and I just feel like I wish she would have had a little bit more grace with me. Comment below if you've ever had a situation like that where, you know, a nursing professor was just, you know, hating a little bit and, you know, wasn't really showing grace and stuff to her students. But yeah, y'all, I was mad, I was hurt, I was sick, but it's all good. Everything happens for a reason. I just wanted you to do a little story time, because I know all of us, we all got some stories about nursing school or nursing, and I'm gonna hit y'all with some nursing stories later on, because boy, this 1 year and 6 months, I have seen some things, y'all. But thank y'all for tuning in for me. Like I said before, if you like this story, you want more story times, you know, hit that subscribe button. I hope y'all enjoyed this story, and y'all have a good, blessed day. Bye, y'all.